What's going on, guys? Daniel Rodriguez here, and welcome to my non-spoiler review for Bleed for This. This film stars Miles Teller, Aaron Eckhart, Katie Seagal, and a few other talented actors and actresses. And in this review, I'm going to be giving you guys my pros, cons, final score, telling you whether or not you should go check this out on rental, TV/streaming, or maybe just never see this movie at all. Now, this film is based on a true story about Vinny Paz, who was a boxer in the 80s, and, boxing, doing his stuff, winning them championships and whatnot. And this is all in the trailer. This is what the movie's about. Without spoiling anything, but this is what the main story is about. Is he ends up getting in this accident, and he has to be put into halo surgery where there's screws inside his skull, and he can't move his head, and he's going to be paralyzed basically if he doesn't be careful. His spine could break and all that stuff because it's on the edge, it's on its last thread, and he basically is not done with boxing. He doesn't want to give up. He's not going to give up. He starts to train this and that, and he's going to find a way to make it back to boxing again. And the doctors say you're going to be lucky if you could barely walk again. And this guy, Vinny Paz, the Pazmanian Devil, he's already like, no, when am I going to box again? When am I going to get up? When am I going to fight again? And that is Bleed for This. Starting off the pros, Miles Teller does a really good job as Vinny Paz in this film. Now, I did not know much about Vinny Paz, nor did I really know Vinny Paz at all before this film. Walking into this film, I really didn't know who the main character's name was going to be, or, I only knew there was a crash, and he's working his way back to boxing. And Vinny Paz is an interesting guy. He really is, and he's still alive today, 5-time champion, has a tattoo right there, 5X, 5-time. And it was very interesting to see, this was his life before the wreck, life in the middle of the wreck, life after the wreck. That was a very, very interesting thing to see. And it's one of those inspirational films, and, it's been done before 1,000 times. You know what's going to happen. It's predictable. You know how it's going to end. Most with a brain will know how this movie ends. Is he going to make it back in boxing? Is he gonna make it back? It's pretty obvious. It's been done before. But Vinny Paz's story hasn't been done before. The halo surgery. This is intense stuff here, man. There are some intense scenes with this halo surgery, this halo thing he had around his head, the nails in his skull, and Miles Teller portrays it very, very well. Now, I wasn't a fan of most of the fights in this film. I'm not saying that as the Vinny Paz, I didn't like the fight or anything like that. Not like that. The way they were filmed, or the way that it was choreographed in a way where the fighting didn't bring me in until the last fight. I won't tell you who Vinny Paz, the Pazmanian Devil, ended up fighting, but I didn't expect the guy at the end. I was like, oh, this guy, he fought this guy? It's crazy. The last fight is the fight to watch. So the last fight in the whole entire film is my favorite fight out of the entire film. Aaron Eckhart plays Vinny Paz's trainer, and I enjoy Aaron Eckhart. He comes out a lot more lately. He's been a supporting character in many films lately, and he was a good supporting character in here. I feel to an extent this film is underrated, but it's not excessively overrated in a way where I'm like, okay, because it's okay. It's an okay film to an extent where it's not good, it's not bad. It definitely deserved more money at the box office, but it definitely didn't deserve too high level much. For sure, Aaron Eckhart and Miles Teller does have good chemistry on screen. My favorite thing in Bleed for This out of anything besides the last fight is the music, the soundtrack in here. A lot of Billy Squier. I wonder if Vinny Paz was a Billy Squier fan or something, because there's quite a bit of Billy Squier going on. There's a lot of 80s music in there, and that is my favorite thing about Bleed for This is the soundtrack. And even though Miles Teller is good in here, and yes, there are emotional scenes in here, it does get intense. The fighting is well done, especially the last fight, but the other fights are... Honestly, it's been a few weeks since I've seen the film. I could remember a little bit about the last fight, very little, but I don't remember much about any of the other fights. I don't. But the one thing that really, really breaks this movie down for me that I don't like is it is a very slow film. And I mean, it's unnecessary slow. It doesn't need to be this slow. I was falling asleep in the theater while watching this film. I'm not saying that to say that, not to be hurtful or anything. I was falling asleep during this film. Especially the opening. The opening is kind of like, it just jumps right into a conference, and no warning, no hesitation. It just jumps you right in. And it's like, okay, it's one of those regular boxing movies where it jumps you into this, and it's been done before. That happened. This happens. You know, the regular, usual things. If you've seen Creed, or if you've seen Southpaw, or if you've seen Hands of Stone, or stuff like that, like, this has already been done before. It's only the accident stuff and all that of Vinny Paz's story that's new. Other than that, everything else has been done before. And I'm not trying to say, okay, this was historic, or like, I'm not the editor, I'm not the person, I don't know Vinny Paz's story 100%, but in the film, his family is always arguing over and over and arguing and arguing, and it's kind of like you're sitting there and you're just looking at them argue, and it's like, where are we going with the story? Okay, like, argue. Okay, you're giving me a headache. It's giving me a headache talking about it, really. There was just arguing, and not saying the family is annoying, not the real life people. I don't know the real life people. I'm saying in the movie, it did get annoying a lot, and the dad. Nothing against the real dad. I don't know if Vinny Paz is his actual dad or how he looks or anything like that, but in the film, Jesus Christ, man. Not saying the actor was bad. I'm saying it just felt like he was doing a Robert De Niro impression, because he had the same voice as Robert De Niro. And at the beginning, I was like, is that Robert De Niro? Is he in this film? No, it's not Robert De Niro, but he was doing a Robert De Niro impression. I couldn't take him seriously the whole time in the film. I just saw this guy doing a Robert De Niro impression. As well, Katie Sagal. I like Katie Sagal. She's cool, Married with Children, Sons of Anarchy, all that. But I just saw Katie Sagal in a wig, basically. I think that was a wig. I didn't see a mom. I just saw, that's Katie Sagal. But that is the thing that really killed the movie for me, was how it just dragged on, and it was very slow, and it never really picked up until the crash, and then it got interesting, and then it got slow. Like, I think that's where it went, was the first, until the crash, it's just slow. It's super slow. You're just seeing this guy doing gambling and nudity and hookers and stuff like that, and it's like, well, it's fun to see a person party, but when we're not the ones partying, we're just sitting down watching you party, it's not really that fun. Also, I couldn't tell whether Vinny's girlfriend, whether like that was the same girl as the one later on. Okay, so is she your girlfriend or is she not your girlfriend? There's no explanation on, okay, is this your girlfriend or is it someone else? No real explanation on that. And it was confusing with certain characters. It's like, okay, are you an important character or not? Are you an important character or not? Who are you? We keep on seeing you. You're very annoying. Your hair is obviously a wig. Stuff like that. Like, there were certain characters that were never really explained to enough where, yeah, we know who this person is, or we know who that person is fully to implement in our heads. You just knew Vinny. You knew his father. You knew Aaron Eckhart, the trainer's character, and that was basically it. Maybe the sister at most, but every other character, unless you really have a great mind on it, you're just like, who's this? Okay, you're that person, but are you an important character, or are you just a side person? Are you this? Are you that? It never really was explained. Anyway, I don't think Bleed for This is a bad film, but it's not a good film. The way I would describe it is mediocre. Mediocre. I'm going to give Bleed for This a 5 out of a 10. Is it worth watching on rental? I'd say it's a movie worth waiting for on TV. And that's not a bad thing, man. Wait for TV on this. Listen, good acting. Yeah, the fighting's really good. The last match at the end, the soundtrack's fantastic. Aaron Eckhart's really good in the film. No one does really a horrible job at acting. It's just very... Until the crash... Then it picks up and it skyrockets, and then it goes slower in the third act. So it has a low, it has a high, and it has a low again, and then it gets up a little high again, and then the movie's done for. Because it is quite a while. I think the movie should have been maybe an hour and a half, but it may have been 2 hours. 20 minutes could have been cut out. 30 minutes maybe could have been cut out. It didn't have to be that long. Alright, Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed, make sure to smack that like button. You can comment down below to me what you guys thought about Bleed for this. Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Share it with your friends and hit that subscribe button for more awesome movie reviews every single week, 2017 and beyond. Till next time, bye-bye.